Assalamu alaikum. I'm Atikur Rahman Khanimon and my ID is 2220160, and this is my CSE489 lab exam app named Smart Geotagged Landmarks. So it's a Flutter app that uses the API given by our faculty Adnan sir. It has like 4 tabs: map, landmarks, activity, add/view. I will show the features first of this app and then quickly show the code. This is the map. It opens on Bangladesh and every landmark from the API is a pin. You can see all the pins here. The pin color shows the score. Red is low and green is higher score. The score here are not from 0 to 100, so they go from minus million to plus 10, 12, 15. So I do not use a fixed color range. I check the lowest and the highest score I have and color the pins between those. If I tap the pins, it shows the details of that landmark. And I use the OpenStreetMap, so I don't need a Google Maps API key. This is the landmark page, and every landmark shows title, image, and score. And these landmarks are sorted accordingly, like from if I tap this, and I can see that highest to lowest, and then if I tap again, it's going to show from the basically high is the lowest, and this is the lowest to the highest. So if I here I can type the minimum score and it's going to show me with the less score. If I tap something else, it's going to show me the scores like this. It also sorts like this. Also, we can see that out of 45 we can see only 7 are shown. So basically there are 45 landmarks, and we can see how many are showing out of them. Now I'm going to talk about the visit. For example, I already created this for testing purposes. If I go here, if I tap visit, the API does not give me the distance when I send a visit. It gives me a job ID, and I have to keep checking a second endpoint until the job is finished. So when I press visit, some things happens. If I tap visit, when it takes me to my GPS location, it saves the visit data to my local database queued, and asks work manager to run. And we can see it live happening, where this is processing with the job ID, and I'm not refreshing anything. The background workers writes the result into the database, and the screen picks it up by itself. So yeah, this is you can see that this is finished, and we can see the distance. This is the distance from the server. Now we're going to see the add/view. I already added the title, the latitude and longitude of the airport. Also added an image. I dragged it on the app, and then from the download folder I took the image. One thing here is the API needs the images multipart from data. If I send JSON, the image is just dropped and I get no error. That took me a while to find actually. So I can create the landmark. So we can see that landmark has been created, and it gives back the new ID like we saw. So from landmarks we can see that 0 visits and the score is 0. So if I click on show on map, it's going to show the airport on the map like this, and we can see that it's green because there are no scores or no visits here. And also the pin is slightly bigger than other because a lot of landmarks are here, only a few meters apart, so I made it bigger. And from here, I can click here and click visit, and it's getting the location, and you can see it's loading. So you can see the distance 9.91 kilometers. So basically I set the distance from here. I set it to Bonusri because I live in Bonusri. So from here, it's taking the distance, the server, and the distance of the airport. So we can see here that the score is like this, and there are 1 visits and average distance 9.91 kilometers. So now in landmark, here we can see the delete option. So we can go here and then press delete, and it's gone from the landmarks. Also in map, see there are no landmarks here. It's already been deleted. It's gone from the list straight away, and also nothing on the map too. But the API also has a restore endpoint where you can see that we can restore like with the ID93, and we can restore it from here. So I remember what I deleted, and I can bring it back. If I tap restore, you can see it has been restored in the map, and the landmarks we can see that it's already restored, and if we see in the map it's restored with all the visits and stuff. Now we're going to see that if my app works in offline mode. Turn on airplane mode. So we can see that the app is showing that I'm offline and showing the cache data. So we can see all the data from here, that it's still here. So also we can see the data is on the map. Also I can from the landmark, if I put a visit, it's going into the queue instead of failing. So you can see that the visit is queued and will be sent later, so it's not failing. Here we can also see that it is queued waiting for a connection. So basically when I go online, it's going to basically show me all the details here, or add the details. And now it's processing because we have a stable internet connection. So I'm not pressing anything. So work manager was waiting for a connection, and now it sends the queued visit and gets the result, and it's done. So this is it for the app. Now I'm going to move on to my code. Here we can see models, which are the data classes, and API is all the API calls that are happening, and then database is SQLite tables here, and here the repository which connects those two, and also the background sync is basically the work manager part, and here the app state is the shared data, and this is the whole UI, and this is the database. This is the basically if you see in the create table, this is the visit table, and it does 3 jobs at once. When the status is queued, it is my offline queue, and when the status is pending, it is the job I'm waiting for. When status is done, it's my history. And so a visit is just a row that changes status. That made the whole thing much simpler actually. And in the background sync, we can see here the future role sync visits basically. So this sync visits, this one function does all the background work, and here step 1 sends everything that is still queued, that empties the offline queue, and then here step 2 is like checks every job that are still pending and saves distance when the server says done. And this is the part actually says I cannot use a thread or timer loop. So instead of writing my own loop, I just return false when there is work left. Work manager sees false and runs it again later with a longer delay each time. So the retry is the loop, and because it is work manager, it still works if the app is actually closed. And this is why the offline queue works. Work manager will not even run the task until there is internet. So it checks the if our phone is connected to the internet or not. Now let's go to the API Dart. Here on here we can see the multipart problem I mentioned earlier. Um, so create has to be multipart, delete and restore are from like Erl encoded, and visit is plain JSON. Three different format in one API. Thank you.